Hello guys, welcome to this lecture on implicit differentiation. It's mathematics N5 from your presenter, Mr. Jacob or Komati. Okay, so let's get started. So firstly, I want to introduce you to what implicit differentiation is in terms of a few examples. So here, okay, let me quickly write this one here. So let's say I have equation of y plus x minus 10 equals to, let's say, y squared plus x squared. So what's going to happen here is you don't have to simplify anything. You're just going to differentiate from the get-go. And every time, because remember the question will be determine dy dx using implicit differentiation. So the question is to differentiate everything respect to x, right? So which means if I differentiate y, I'm getting what? I'm getting 1 dy dx because I differentiated y. If I differentiate x, I get x dx because I differentiated x respect to x. So that's why every time I'm going to differentiate x, I won't put dx. I'll just put a number. I'll just put the differentiation. The only time you are going to put dy dx is if I differentiate y. Then now if I differentiate constant, I'm getting 0. If I differentiate y squared, I get 2y dy dx. If I differentiate x squared, I get 2x dx. This step, it's not necessary. This is how you're going to do it. From here, you differentiate y, you get 1 dy dx. You differentiate x, you get 1. You differentiate 10, it's 0, you don't write it. You differentiate y squared, it's 2y dy dx because I differentiate y. You differentiate x squared, you get 2x. Then remember the question is to determine dy dx, so which means we have to solve for dy dx. So you solve for it. So I can leave 2 dy dx this side and bring the other dy dx this side. You see this dy dx was positive, so if I take it the other side, it's negative. Then your x, I'm taking the 2x the other side, it's 1 minus 2x. So now how do I solve? Let me continue here. So I have 1 minus 2x. If I take out dy dx as common, I'll be left with 2y minus 1. So my final answer, I have to divide by 2y minus 1. So this is your final answer there. You don't do anything else here unless they want the tangents and everything. But your final answer, you leave it there. I hope this introduction is clear. So this works also with product rule. So let's say I have okay, I want to erase here. So with product rule is the same thing. Let's say I have y plus xy plus x equals to 0. Remember, if I differentiate y, I'll get dy dx. If I differentiate xy, this is a product rule. So what you're going to do is, remember product rule, the first thing you have is u times the derivative of v, which is dy dx, which is 1 dy dx, plus v times the derivative of u, which is 1, because now you're deriving x. The first time we derived y, you see when I derive x, I just put 1. I don't put dy dx. This y, because we didn't derive it, it's from your product rule, your u v prime plus v u prime. You see, I didn't derive u, that's why I had x. I derived v, that's why I had dy dx. I didn't derive v, that's why I have y. Then I derived x, that's why I have 1. Then plus this x, derive this x, it's 1 equals to 0. Then after that, you are done. You solve for dy dx. Then if I solve for dy dx, we can clearly see I'll have dy dx plus x dy dx equals to minus y minus 1 if I take this to the other side, this. Then now your next step is to take out dy dx as common. I'll be left 1 plus x equals 2 minus y minus, then you divide by 1 plus x to solve for dy dx. Okay, let's do some questions from the exam. Okay, this question, okay, not this one. Okay, this one, you have x squared. This is 2016 August. X squared plus 2 equals 2 y cube cot 3x. We can already see this is product rule because we have y and x, they're multiplying. So now let's differentiate. The question is to differentiate using, they say the implicit function is this, x squared plus 2 equals to y cubed cot 3x. Calculate the derivative dy dx. So let's do it. The first thing, we derive 2x, x squared, we get 2x. We derive 2, it's a constant, it's 0. Now here, product rule. Remember product rule, we start with the first one, which is u times the derivative of cot. So you check your formula sheet if you're not sure. Like me here, you don't have to cram everything because you are given, but when you keep on practicing, you end up knowing them. So the derivative of cot, it's negative cosec squared, but we have 3x here, so it will be negative 3 cosec squared 3x. Then plus, now we derive, okay, now we start with cot. Now we derive y. If I derive y, I have 3y squared times dy dx. Remember, every time you derive y, you must put dy dx. Then we are done. Remember, we have to solve for dy dx. So if I have to solve for dy dx, I'm taking everything the other side. So this negative 3 will make this positive 3y cube cosec squared 3x equals to 3y squared cot 3x dy dx. So we can see our next step is to divide by this whole thing here because we are looking for dy dx. So our dy dx will be 2x plus 3y squared cosec squared 3x cosec squared 3x over 3y squared cot 3x. Don't simplify, leave it here. Leave it here. Then you are done. Just like that. We have only 3 examples. So now I'm doing the second one. Let me see from which paper now. Okay. Okay, November 2019 final examination. You have determine dy dx of implicit function 10x exponent 4 minus 18xy squared. So we can see 18xy squared is product rule plus 10y cubed equals to 48. So we can see 48 is a constant, it will be 0. So let's start with 10x exponent 4. We know we are getting 40x cubed. Then here, this is a product rule. If you want to make it easier, you can put negative 18 outside. Deal with xy squared. This is product rule. The first thing, I'll write x, then derive y. If I derive y, I'll have 2y dy dx. Next step, plus, now I'm deriving x. I have 1 y squared. I derived x. Plus, now I derive 10y cubed. I have 30 y squared equals to 0. Now I can multiply inside the bracket. I have 40 x cubed minus this 18 and this 2, it will be 36 xy dy dx minus 18 y squared plus 30y squared equals to 0. So you can see 18 and 30 will give us positive 12. So now we are solving for dy dx. Because it's negative, I'll just take it the other side to be positive, 36 xy dy dx. This side I have 40 x cubed plus 12 y squared, which is these two. They make up 12. Negative 18 plus 30 should be 12. Then we have to solve dy dx. So if I solve dy dx, I know I have to divide by 30xy. So my final answer will be 40 x cubed plus 12 y squared over 36 xy. Don't simplify, leave it there. That's your answer. This one was 3 marks. So let me see another example I have. Okay, now August 2019. August 2019, I have question 2.6, implicit differentiation. They gave you e exponent 2x. Okay, sorry, e exponent 2x plus 3y. Never mind this dot, shouldn't confuse you, it's an error. Equals to x squared minus ln xy cube. We can see ln xy cube is chain rule, which will result also into product rule. So let's derive. Remember, every time you derive exponent, the first thing is you write it exactly as it is. The second thing, you multiply by derivative of the exponent. If I derive the exponent, I have 2, then I have 3 dy dx, because I'm deriving from 2 resulted from the derivative of 2x, which is 2. The derivative of 3y is 3 dy dx. Then I derive x squared, I have 2x. Then I derive ln. Remember, ln is 1 over everything times the derivative of everything there. This is product rule. I will start with y. So if I start with y, I have 3y squared dy dx plus, now I go with x, then I'll be left with y cube. See, so now we try to simplify. So the easy way is to first multiply into the bracket. So if I multiply into the bracket, I have 2e 2x plus 3y plus 3e 2x plus 3y times dy dx. This side I have 2x. If I multiply into the bracket by this one, x and x, I'll be left with 3 at the top. At the bottom, x will cancel, y squared will cancel y cubed, so I'll be left with 3 over y dy dx. Then here, y cube and y cube will cancel, I'll be left with 1 over x. So remember, from here we have to get dy dx. So if I take 3 over y the other side, this step, because I can see I will want to have space, I'm already taking out my common factors here, which is 3e 2x plus 3y. Remember, I took this one the other side, it's positive 3 over y. Then this side I have 2x minus 1 over x. Then I'm taking this one the other side, which will be negative 2e 2x plus 3y. Now your final step is to divide by that thing, multiplying your, sorry, this is e 2x plus 3y. Then we divide by everything, multiplying your dy dx plus 3 over y. This is your final answer there. Don't simplify again. Okay, this was our last example, so you know what to do. Just keep on practicing. Yep, and for any questions, don't forget you can email me. You can email me there at my email address, or leave a comment in the comment section. Okay, thank you. I'll see you again next time.